Hey, this is Abraham from Monoliths, and you're watching Alive and Loud.
Welcome to Alive and Loud, everybody. Today we have a very special guest, Mr. Abe Montalvo. Am I saying that correctly?
Yeah, Montalvo, Abraham,
Montalvo,
either
Abraham.
or.
All right, my friend. And he is from a band called SevenStones out of Chattanooga. But what you might not know is he's actually about to release his very first solo project EP. Is that right?
Debut single, but yeah,
Debut
solo
single.
project.
Solo project. Okay.
Yeah,
So what we're going to discuss today is he's got a new single coming out called
From the Sky.
From
It
the
comes
Sky.
out June 11th, 2021.
So Abe, tell me what it's been like, man, to kind of step away from something that you're super comfortable with and being a founding member of a kick-ass rock band and kind of stepping out and stepping into the forefront and doing something like a solo project. What's that been like?
Well, it's weird, man, because like I've always had a passion for writing music, and like It was it was during 2018. I remember I had planned, because this is when I like kind of really started getting into Tremonti heavily,
Uh-huh.
and as looking at Mark as an inspiration, as an influence, I started seeing his solo project just really like full blast taking off, and I'm like, man, I'd like to really kind of set something, create something one day to where I could just bring ideas that don't fit in my current band, that are heavier, more speed, stuff like that, more
Mhm.
thrash because I love thrash metal,
Oh yeah.
and really in put it into something that I could create. So originally in 2018, I had this idea and I created this Instagram page, and I created this little teaser, and the page was called "As Bridges Burn," and it never surfaced. Nothing ever surfaced from that. It was just a little teaser that I created with my guitar amp and just some recording stuff.
Yeah.
But Monoliths came about in late 2020 because during the pandemic we didn't have no shows, so I took it upon myself. I bought a MacBook, I bought Logic Pro X, I started learning how to record in pre-pro demos at home for SevenStones, and then the ideas that started surfacing through just creation, uh, and learning how to become a better songwriter, which is always still a process.
Yeah.
I really sat down and I started like listening to ideas that I'm coming up with, and I'm like, okay, this is too heavy for what we do as a band. So I now have two separate files and folders where I just put stuff for the Seven Stones catalog and stuff for the Monoliths catalog. And so at the beginning of the year, that of this year, is when it all just started kind of coming together.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, it's funny because I remember like all those random monoliths appearing last year,
Yeah,
late last
yeah.
year or whatever, and it was just kind of cool because I look at that, I'm like, man, what is a monolith? It's a weird structure. It's something very strange that
Yeah.
you don't, it has a weird origin, like the Stonehenge. They're weird. So it was something really cool, really weird, and something different. So I'm like, man, I think this would be really cool to come up with this idea, this side project. And the idea behind the side project was it was going to be a solo project, but every song would feature a number of different singers on each song. So,
Yeah.
this song being the first debut single where it's my vocal for the very first time, showcasing, that I'm writing the music, I'm singing the music because this is my passion. This is what I want to become as a singer songwriter and solo artist as well, not
Mm-hmm.
just a guitar player. And I want to showcase that. And now the songs after this that will come out sometime later this year, they're going to have a few different singers from other bands. It was kind of like a Mark Morton influence from Lamb of God
Yeah,
on
yeah.
his solo project. So that's kind of where this idea spawned from, the real basis of the idea. But now it's kind of like, where do I go from here?
Yeah, yeah. Because
because
you don't really sing in the band when you're with Seven Stones, so this is
no,
something completely new to you, right?
it's something so completely new, man. Because like I've always wanted to do the backing vocals, help Drew during backing vocals
Hmm.
for certain songs, and now like practicing singing because I have been practicing actively. Uh, I've been practicing a lot of singing. When I was in the studio back in April with Dalton Skinner, he pushed me on my first vocal performance for this song, and that's those takes are that was all done in one day, all my vocals, and it was just like, wow, man, I didn't realize I had actually had a natural voice that I can push myself. And he's pushed me a lot, and he's kind of the one that opened my eyes to pursue singing, man, because you have that as part of your talent. You could play guitar and do all this stuff, but singing is something that you're passionate about. Go for it.
That's
So
awesome.
this whole world is new to me with singing. Now it's just like, okay, so I have a new song I've been writing as of recently, where it's me, of course, gonna be singing again. So there's gonna be more to come.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
So we're really excited to hear it, and I know that you've been dropping some teasers on social media lately,
yeah,
very cryptic, which kind of falls in line with the whole monolithic theme here. And
yeah.
I gotta ask, so being is that you're not usually one in front of a microphone and singing, what was it like to kind of hear that feedback, from Dalton Skinner as far as like first time stepping into a vocal booth and then being told you might actually be onto something here?
Man, it was nerve wracking because you get all the time, like you got your friends that are like, oh, they'll mess with you and they'll make
Yeah.
fun of you, but like there's something that I've always been passionate about. I've always loved to sing, and he was the first one. Like he listened to me and he goes, man, like you do realize you have a real vocal here, and like this is you, like listen to this. And it was nothing added, no, like because there's no effects added to the voice. This is all my voice. you
Hmm.
know where in the studio, of course, you have to fine tune certain areas and certain pitches and notes, which that's normal in
Yeah.
recording. But like when I heard my voice for the first time, I was like, oh my god, like this idea of this song that I had created at the beginning of this year based around certain events, and the lyrics, delivering all these lyrics and writing it out, and just hearing it back for the very first time left me just mind boggled.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
That's great. So shifting gears, you're more naturally a guitar player and a phenomenal guitar player. For
Appreciate
those of
that.
the people that are watching right now, uh, you need to go and do some digging on Seven Stones because you're really missing out on some primo content with that. Because I've been following the guys for quite some time, and it seems like everything that they put out, they're constantly evolving their sound, which is what you want to do as a band. But
Hmm.
now as a side project, you're able to kind of, like you said, really unleash a little bit more of that heavy side that you have
Yep.
with some of the Tremonti influences and probably I would dare to say some Mark Morton influences, like you said. His
Trivium as well. I can't leave Trivium out, man. That
Trivium,
was Matt Hafey is definitely the vocal inspiration to my vocal, because like man, just like they've always been one of my favorite bands. And like you've heard the song, and
yeah, yeah,
it definitely has all those influences infused.
hell yeah. And so I wanted to ask, what is your what like if you're gonna put yourself on stage right now, what are you gonna set up as far as a rig? Abe's stepping on stage and he's gonna play his first song. And it's gonna be From the Sky. What is your rig rundown? What are you playing on?
Well, what I'm running through is my 100-watt Mesa dual rectifier roadster head running into my 412 straight Mesa straight recto cab, 412 vintage 30s Celestians. My entire pedal board is super simple. I run a Shure wireless system. I run a Maxon OD8OX overdrive. I have an analog delay from MXR, the carbon copy, and my foot switch. And now I have my drop tune pedal because it makes it easier to have two guitars and be able to drop tune from one tuning to the next without having to go in and switch the the tuning keys. So
Yeah, yeah.
that's really my rig right there. Now, as far as like what I'm going to expand on, because with this recording, I use all the stuff that I use is all real equipment.
Hmm.
Uh, my amp on there, I use my amp, but I also use the Pog, Electro Harmonics Pog, an
Yep.
octave pedal, and the Precision Drive from Horizon, the Misha Mansour pedal, and that it made my sound so just perfect. So that's the next addition to my rig.
So really put
And-
it right where you wanted it.
yeah, and then I have my PRSs, my CE24, my CE24, and then my Tremontis at my practice space.
Right on.
Yeah.
So what would you be starting out if you had to put yourself, side project out there, you're going to go on tour, you're looking to really expand, what kind of tour would you put together for yourself?
What kind of tour?
Yeah, what kind
Man,
of
that's
tour
a
who would you put with, like, with yourself? Who would you like to go on tour with?
we talking local or national?
It could be any. It could be a
Could be
mixture.
any.
Hmm.
Honestly, it'd be fun. It'd be honestly really fun just to open up for like Trivium. I would love to go on a tour with Trivium. They're one of my favorite bands. Of course, Tremonti, man, being one of the greats. It'd be fun to go on tour with them. Confessions of a Traitor from the UK. I love those guys. Check them out. Disconnected, who we both know of, Disconnected from France. They'd be cool. Yeah, but in a perfect world, Trivium, Tremonti. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Probably Lamb of God as a headliner.
Oh wow, yeah, that would be
Yeah, yeah,
hell
that'd
yeah.
be dope.
So what was it like writing, for your side project and Monoliths compared to writing for anything else you've done prior?
Well, with this, it's interesting because I'm writing based around what I'm feeling. So you know, being in SevenStones or in any other band for that matter, where you having to deal with multiple personalities, it it works cohesively together, which is it's nice. It's great, and that's a very powerful way of writing songwriting.
Yeah.
But when you're in your own solo project and you're basically the man behind the paper, you're the man in charge, and everything
Hmm.
is based around what you want to create rather than having different people involved. The only two people are you and the producer that you're taking this music to be recorded.
Yep.
So, at the end of that, it's easy, man. It's just dialing in and learning those areas to perfect your songwriting and take that corrective criticism from your producer that you're presenting your material and working those areas to fine tune and shift things around. But other than that, man, the writing's been a lot easier. Like right now, I'm sitting on about a good 7 or 8 songs. The original idea that I had, I was gonna do one single,
Hmm.
put it out there, and then put an EP out by the end of the year. But plans change,
Of course.
some gears have to be shifted different ways, and working with Dalton, it was a clear indicator that this is who I want to work with on my solo. He took so much care of the idea and the product that I presented him since the beginning of this year. I reached out to him because of other friends of band that have been recording with him in Knoxville, and he's just such a wonderful human being. And he's now a really good friend of mine, and it's just really cool to be able to take that material to him and him know exactly what I want, what to do with it. So I'm excited, man. This has been a whole different process because and not to sound like egotistical, but I am the one in charge of what I'm doing. I
Hmm.
know where I see my vision, and I want to be 10 steps ahead on this because
Right.
it's something that I'm so passionate about, and I want to get that message of what Monoliths is. So
Yeah. So I want to ask, you're based down in Chattanooga. There's
Yeah.
a very wide variety as far as the music scene down there. What kind of venues would you like to be out there playing right now? You want to be playing, smaller clubs? You want to be playing 2,000 caps? You want to be playing, closer towards amphitheaters, arenas? Like, what's the ideal look for a Monolith show?
Right now, since it's just only me on the project,
Mm-hmm.
if it becomes, and you can never say never.
Yeah, of
In the
course.
music world, you can never say never. So if by demand people want a show from my side project, I would love to have a group of talented musicians to join me in on this venture, and I would love to, of course, start it small to where people can get recognition of what I'm doing on the side, but I would love to be playing bigger venues. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I'm not gonna say right now that we're ready or that my project is ready for like the signal, anything like that. But
yeah,
when it comes to like SevenStones, yeah, we're ready for that because that's where my band is, uh, musically at that level. But for the side project, the smaller gigs and build it up, as long as I have the right group of people that are on the same train as me and the same path musically,
right.
because it's heavier, it's faster, and it's more meaner. The music is definitely different.
It's a different gear, huh?
Yeah, it's a totally different gear. Like Seven Stones is the hard rock and the alternative, and now more of the metal, new metal that's kind of touching on.
Yeah.
But this is just straight, just heavy. It's raw. It's thrash, metalcore. It's everything kind of infused.
So what do you have planned for the next single?
The next single after this one, it's I have two singles planned after this,
Okay.
with two different singers. I don't want to expose who they are right now. They're badass. They're
Keeping it
from
cryptic.
yeah, yeah. One's from the UK and the other's from France. So that's the only thing I could really say. And they're badass singers. They're really great with their bands. They're hell of a talent for what they do. And right now, I one of them just submitted me the lyrics to one of the songs that I have already kind of musically already mapped out.
Right.
And the other song. Uh, it's already basically mapped out and he's already submitted me his demo vocal and now
Hmm.
we're just working on restructuring and
Yeah.
I say by maybe September I'll have my next single out with the gentleman from France, and
Okay.
then toward October I'll have out the third single with the gentleman from the UK. So it's badass, man. They're heavy. They're heavier tracks.
All right. So
Yeah.
what are you wanting to say with Monoliths? Like we've established like this is going to be heavy. This is going to be something that's a passion project of
Yeah.
yours. Your foot's on the gas. You're not letting off. But what is a statement that you would say would be put down with this kind of a project?
Man, the statement. I just want to showcase my talent to the music world. Just that one guy with a vision. Who's very passionate about showcasing what ideas are coming to fruition just by events or by life events, whatever,
Hmm.
and just showcasing to the world that hey, there's real talent out. And I don't want to sound like on a pedestal or anything like that, but there's real talent out in the world.
Yeah.
You just got to discover it and you have to look because like the music world is very man, it's very left and right. You know what I mean? And everything is just always like top Billboard charts. Who's on the charts? Who's on the charts? And nobody looks at the people, the underdogs, the people that are trying to get their name out there, send their music out. Like, hey, check out my song. Because I know somebody's gonna resonate to this. But you know what I mean? Like a lot of artists just get slept on. So I feel like what I'm trying to present and showcase is that hey, I'm not just a guitar player. I'm also a songwriter and I'm trying to develop that and I'm trying to become better every day, every day. And that's just my goal is to show. this is my passion, this is what I believe in, and this is my music that I want to present, because I feel that that's my gift to the world,
Yeah.
is my talent, my music. And this song From the Sky, to give a little bit of backstory, uh, I wrote it based around the Capitol insurrection. And not to get political, but
Yeah.
like what I was seeing was like, man, this stuff isn't right. Like, it's just so much stuff that doesn't add up, doesn't make sense. So, to not get political, I wrote the song based around those events, because you look at what's taking place right now in the world, and things just are very topsy turvy.
Yeah. Definitely.
So I really hope this song showcases and captures that.
Definitely, man. Well, I want to leave you with a thought, and I have to say it's been awesome talking to you, man. And for anybody that's watching, you know definitely head over to Spotify, definitely head over to iTunes, check out the social medias, because you're not gonna want to miss anything that Abe is touching. Because I'm telling you right now, this guy is one of the most formidable people coming up in music right now, and you want to be on the bandwagon early and not later. I promise you that. But
Appreciate that.
if you have to tell anybody, whether it's like family or fans, from your other project in SevenStones, like what would you want to say to people who? And I always ask this because I feel like it's super important. We haven't had music and live shows in a long while now, and it's very relative that we keep people connected to you and you to them. So, what do you want to say to them, the people who are consuming your music?
Definitely support it, not just because it's somebody trying to push a product. Definitely support it because you want to support the music that you're engaged and listening to. This is our channel, our medium of displaying who we are, that extra part of ourselves out to the world. And that's what music is. It connects people together, and it brings everybody together. We live in such a divided world,
Mhm.
and this is the one thing that really connects it all through a universal language. So that's really my message.
Well, you couldn't have said it better, man. And I want to thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
Everybody, make sure you go check out Monoliths' new single, From the Sky, debut single, From the Sky, is
Yeah,
going to be releasing June 11th. And that is
June 11th.
week. So hunker down, be ready for that. It's
Yeah.
going to blow your mind. It's heavy. And I cannot wait to hear it out there for
Yeah.
all you guys to start reacting to it. It's going to be great.
There's a music video also coming.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm filming it June 12th. I'll be filming it with an actual live band. Uh, so it's gonna be awesome, and the music video's probably gonna drop June 18th.
June 18th.
Hmm.
Well, there you have it. There's the exclusive right there. The
Yeah.
first music video from Monolith and Abe, From the Sky, June 11th. Abe, thanks so much for joining us, buddy. I really
Thank you for
appreciate
having me, brother.
it. And we look forward to seeing everything you're going to do.
Yeah, man. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Here.
Rock and roll.